are your hosts. I am Zhi Yu.
I'm Xin Hui.
I am year 4.
I'm year 2.
I'm from Triple E.
And I'm also Triple E.
Yeah! So Xin Hui, you know I read this statistic on NTU students.
What is it?
Apparently it says that 1 in 3 NTU students are boarding.
Oh.
Are you boarding?
No, I'm not.
Right. Last I checked, I wasn't. Who's the third? Kevin! Oh my god! What happened to your hair?
There's a runway.
Oh! So, Mr. Kevin, why do you think that you're boarding?
Stress.
Stress from what?
Academics, CCA.
CCAs! Yes!
Oh.
So today we're talking about CCAs! Yes! So, CCAs in uni. So, one thing I need to lay down on the ground is CCAs in uni are not compulsory. There's no such thing as a CCA record as of 2024. 2024. Oh my god, I'm also stressing. Okay, yes. As of 2024, there's no such thing as a CCA record. So whatever you do in your CCA, president of Triple E Club, vice president of MLTA,
Members.
it is not recorded. So, in spite of that, do you think CCAs are good for you in university?
I think it's good. Like what we say in part 1. If you haven't checked it out in part 1. We said that CCA helps you with your skills. But I think another part where CCA is important is for international students to get into hall.
Hall, yes. So, hall. So, of course, the higher your position is in the CCA, the more
higher
points you get.
Yes.
So, I believe it was a maximum of 9 points.
Yes. So president 9 points.
Right, so the tops are usually 9 points, right? Okay, so but now let's look at the other end of the spectrum. So we mentioned in the previous episode that having a CCA is all well, all good, learn lots of skills, meet new people, do new projects.
The positives.
Right. Let's look at the other side of the spectrum. What are the benefits of not being in a CCA?
They have more time to study.
Exactly. And any other benefits?
I think disclaimer, conflicts.
Conflicts. Conflicts with what?
With communication with people.
Okay.
When
okay,
thoughts
makes
doesn't
sense.
come in line.
So you avoid all those drama,
Yes.
all the fights, all the disagreements in the CCA, right? Because different people. When you work with different people, you work with
Different
people
mindset.
with different mindsets. Yes. So obviously, there's gonna be bound to be fights.
Yes.
Everyone in this world is human, right? The way they think, the way they do things are also different, right?
Yes.
So, another thing that I would say that is beneficial about not being in CCA is that it doesn't clash with your external commitments.
That's true.
Right, so let's say, for example, one fine day in another universe, I have a partner, right? So, I tell my partner, let's say on Valentine's Day, 14th Feb, Triple E Club has an event. It's like, I need you to sell flowers, can you come down here and help? And then I did tell my partner, hey, I can't make it for Valentine's Day because I'm selling flowers on Valentine's Day.
I have commitments.
Oh my gosh, she's gonna
having fire here.
She's having fire here, she'll throw the fire at me. And then I'll be on fire, right? So it avoids. So there's no clashes with external commitments, right? Because usually external commitments, if you have an external commitment, you tend to be more, focused on it, right? Because
that's true.
you are not forced into the external commitment. You chose the external commitment.
Yes.
Right? So, but whereas CCA is like, you peer pressure. Hey, join this, join this.
It can help you with this, it can help you with that.
Right.
But you need to know, does it really help you?
Right.
Yes.
So that's the benefit of not being in a CCA, right?
But let's say you're in a CCA. What CCA would you choose? And how do you know what CCA is good for you and which one you should take?
I mean, if you were a freshman, right, I would suggest just trying out as many CCAs as possible. But don't be pressured to stay inside.
That's the thing I experienced, yeah.
Right.
I didn't know there's a thing called you can drop out.
Right. Because ultimately a CCA is just for you to make new friends, do new things.
Yes.
You're not expected to stay. Right? I believe the ops of those CCA also expect to stay. So when you're in the freshman year, just explore as many CCAs as possible. Even if you want to do voluntary service, just go for it. Welfare Service Club, they are gold in NTU. They do a lot of voluntary activities. Right? If you have interest club, for example, machine learning, We have MLDA Club in
Garage
Hui. Garage, yeah, something like that. Developers, Marvel, beautiful clubs with a lot of great interests. Right. So, let's say I'm a freshman. Okay, I know I'm super old to be a freshman, but let's say I'm a freshman. Just imagine a little bit, okay? I want to have a CCA. So, what do you think should be my thinking before I choose a CCA?
Do you like it?
Okay, do you like it? Okay.
What position do you want?
Position, okay.
Do you think if you join multiple CCA, are you gonna balance it well with the academics? I think that's the top 3 things for me. What about you?
I mean, yes, I believe the third point that you raised just now, like whether you have time for it or not, I think it's very, very important. Because ultimately you're in uni for a degree, right?
Yes.
Okay, so CCA should just only be a supplement to your uni life. It shouldn't take over your uni life.
That's what I agree as well.
Right, so just talk to yourself, ask yourself, do I have enough time to do this? And also don't be afraid to drop CCAs if you feel like you cannot.
Don't get peer pressured.
Yeah.
You need to know your ability is not the same as your friends. So
Right.
know what you can and what you can't.
Right.
Do you think CCA release or add to your stress?
Stress levels for CCAs. Okay, so for myself, right, I'm like a tops in 2 CCAs, and I would say it adds a lot of stress. Because you have to plan events, you have to execute events, you have to coordinate, and then you have to check up on the people under you. So that's extremely stressful, and it's like on top of my already hectic workload in year 4. And my final year project is chasing me very tightly. Yeah.
But what makes you think you want to? I want to take down the CCA despite the workload.
I believe it's more of challenging yourself to do things, because in university, right, your main function is just study, ace exams, do projects, write reports, right? But in uni, you're not expected to manage external project, like not academic related project. You're not expected to lead people under you. You're not expected to coordinate with external vendors.
That's true.
So being in this position that I am in right now, it kind of sheds light on what it's like doing non-academic stuff.
On the outside world.
Right, managerial stuff. And then most importantly, I meet new people. I make connections, and then I gain valuable skills and knowledge that can help me in the future if I do become a manager in the future. So yeah, it's kind of like, I would say, career development. Yeah. So what about you, like in CCAs? Like, do you have any position, like tops position, or are you just a member?
Back in year 1, I was in main comm. 1 main comm, 2 subcoms, JCRC, and joined a few bunch of sports as a member.
Wow. Okay.
I think that being in a main composition is actually quite tough. Even a main composition is tough, I think tops is tougher.
Right.
So I think juggling with your time is very important.
Right.
And you always need to think about how to communicate with other people without letting them hurt. I think that's the main thing for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Has there ever been like instances whereby your position, like you being in a CCA, actually relieves some stress off you? Sports, all
if
right.
you want to join, relieve stress, go for sports. It can help you
right.
with math as well.
Right. Sports is like, I believe, I'm not sure if I'm wrong, but I've seen studies out there that says that physical activity is one of the best stress relief ever. Like there was some saying that if physical exertion can be made into like a medicine, it will be the best medicine in the world.
That's true. I think there's this one study in China that says why they give their student exercise every single day is to help them to regulate, I think, the oxygen in the brain.
Okay.
That allows them to remember things better or study better.
Right, so physical activity is a good way of distress. Would you say that?
Join sports.
Right, sports is a good thing. Right. Obviously, it's not like super competitive sport where it gives you stress.
Take your time. If you think you're stressed, go for a run.
Yeah, go for a run. Yes, it can be like something as simple as a walk around a park, a run. If you want, you can lift weights, play badminton with your friends.
Do everything you want.
Yeah, I mean, our body is made to move. Right.
So use it well.
Yeah.
Don't make it too competitive that it affects your study. So just take it simple. As long as you relieve your stress, you're good.
Yeah. So I believe physical activity is one of the most healthiest way to release some stress.
That's very true.
I mean, I know some friends who indulge in other activities to really stress relief, but in my opinion, I don't think that's very healthy.
I think working out or like joining sports actually
Right.
helped me to relieve a lot of stress.
Yeah, to be able to exert the stress into like a punching bag. Oh, feels so good.
Take boxing. It
Right,
actually-
right.
All your stress
Right.
and commitment just there.
Right. You can just picture like someone's face that just right. Okay, so CCAs, right? Do you think that we should be expected to make sacrifices for CCAs?
Short-term sacrifices, I think it's okay, but long-term goals, I don't think so.
Right. So what kind of short-term sacrifices are we talking about?
Reducing your dinner, lunchtime.
Okay, that makes sense.
Or maybe having a shorter time to study. Like if, like say tomorrow you're going to hand something report in your CCA, it's better to do it that time.
Right,
But
right.
know that if tomorrow there's no exams, but if there is exams, focus on exams.
Right, that makes sense.
Long-term wise, I think if it's gonna affect your health, I think it's better to take things slowly.
Health should be the top priority in everything that you do. Without health, you can't do anything.
That's true.
Right. So for myself, sacrifice I made for my CCAs. I would say, ironically, I sacrificed my health.
Oh no.
Right, because
Are you alright?
I'm very alright like right now. Okay, so but unfortunately, there's like some times where like tons of assignments are due, but then the CCAs also have tons of things due.
Oh wow, everything's chasing you.
Everything is like packed into that one. I remember like last semester, towards the second part of the term of the semester after recess week, I had a meeting with the staffs whereby I need to present like survey findings from the previous semester. I had a FYP report due. I had I believe 1,000 word essay due.
No.
And then a bunch of 2 assignments. And then that's on top of lectures, tutorials and labs that I need to catch up on.
That's 10 plus rules.
So that week was extremely difficult for me.
Oh.
So that week I honestly, it's not exaggerating, I think that that week for 7 days, my combined sleep hours, like all the nights combined, was around 8 hours.
1 hour per day, guys.
Not 8 hours per day.
1
8
hour.
hours per week.
1 hour per day.
So it was very, very bad, very, very bad. That week, I was super moody.
I can feel.
Right, I was super moody. Like when my friends, cause usually when my friends like interact with me, they like to like
Joke.
fool around, right?
Yeah.
All that week I wasn't feeling it. I lost my
no.
temper so many times.
Too happy to.
Right, yeah, I was gone for that whole week. But then over the weekends I just slept like a pig. Then next week I was back.
I know, you're hibernating.
Yeah, I was hibernating. Yeah, so sacrifice, I believe when the going gets tough, you have to sacrifice some stuff.
That's very true.
Right. I mean, health is important, but
Short time.
Short-term
I think it's okay.
Yeah, it should be.
But don't go beyond to the point like you're actually sacrificing your health.
Right, right. Make sure there's no long-term repercussions.
I think like if you sacrifice sleep, short term wise,
Yeah.
1 day or 2, I think it's okay.
It's perfectly normal.
Yeah, but not to the point like the whole semester you're doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, your body, I think like there's like studies out there that says that your body is super slow. It lets you know if something is wrong. So if
Listen to your body.
Yeah, if your lack of sleep is catching up, right, your brain will definitely let you know.
Yes.
It will start throwing headaches at you.
Brain fog,
Brain fog, loss of focus, like
constant sleep.
constant sleep,
Procrastination.
micro-sleep. Yes, procrastination. One of the things that we talked about in our previous
Yes.
episode. So listen to your body, honestly. Your body is your best advisor.
Do you think CCA bring you fulfillment in life?
Right. So in spite of everything I said just now, you might be thinking that I'm like bad mouthing my CCA, but honestly, I feel that it's quite fulfilling. Honestly,
Same.
like it has brought so much enrichment to my life. Honestly, like in terms of like non-academic stuff, I meet new friends, I meet new staffs. Like I'm actually personal friends with some of the staffs in NTU.
Oh.
It's to the point, right, like when we go out for events together, we will just like stay at the back of the group, and then we just talk. Yeah. Like talk like as friends, not as like a student-staff relation.
As like a normal
Yeah, like
same
equal.
level.
Yes, correct. We are that close. Then, like of course I'm a peer tutor for engineering math too, right? I also get like gratitude from students. Like sometimes after I'm done, like after the semester is done and dusted with, I sometimes get like long thank you messages. Oh, thank you so much for tutoring me.
That's
I
really
managed
so
to pass.
heartwarming.
Yeah, I saw the message like, oh. But then I upload it because I usually don't know how to reply to this stuff. But then I'm deep down, I'm like, oh my gosh, thank God I managed to make you pass that mod.
So guys, if you're signing up for Zhi's mod, just be prepared that you're gonna be blue ticked.
I'm not heartless. I just don't know how to respond to those kind of messages. I usually just say thank you.
Oh no. As long as he is okay, okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Okay, thanks, bye.
Yeah, so it's like I feel like my life, like I would say year 4, like my current year, is my most colourful like year as compared to my other 3 years.
I'm glad to hear that.
Right. So even though the stresses are there, sacrifices are there, I would say it's the most shagged year I've ever been. I would say it's also the most fulfilling, most colourful.
I think once you graduate, when you look back, you will think about the happy memories.
Right.
You won't think about like how bad it went.
Right. So like I would like to say like all the challenges that you face right now, few years down the road, it will just be happy memories.
True.
Like you'll be talking over your friends over a drink.
You know, when back then.
Back then I only had 8 hours of sleep. I was moody. I reached that those kind of
You know,
fun
like
stuff.
back then we're just cramming like a week of assignment in one night.
Right. So it's like all these like turmoil, all these troubles that really makes the best memory
Yeah, I
when
believe.
you finish your uni. So what about you? Do you think your CCAs, your 7 CCAs, brings you fulfillment to your university?
I think so. Even though there's like a lot of conflicts in between, I think after I accomplish those 7 CCAs, I kind of feel like I break my boundary of like, hey, I actually can do so much without me knowing that I can do this much. And also I learned a lot of communication things, like how to communicate with people who are a bit hard-headed and all this kind of stuff. And also I think when I join all the CCAs, especially sports, it helps me to know how to balance out my mental thoughts and my physical ability. Just so that I don't feel burnt out and all that.
Right. So it's kind of like, you're pushing your boundaries but within a safe limit.
Within a safe limit, yes.
Discovering how far you can go. So
Yeah, that's true.
I would say this the good thing about having CCAs. You see the side of you that you never thought was possible.
Yes.
Right.
It actually helps you to rediscover yourself.
Right. If I was in year 2, like right now, and I look at my year 4 self, I'll be like, oh my god, how do you handle all this nonsense?
Yes.
Like I like back in year 2, I didn't think that I would be taking up all these positions. I thought I'll come in, study, go out.
That's the same for me.
Right, but then like suddenly I'm thrown into all these positions. Yes, it is daunting at times. It is hard at times, but
It's gonna be alright.
I would say like all these like spicy moments is still a flavor in your dish, right?
Just like how you eat mala.
Right.
It's gonna be spicy.
It's gonna be
You're
bitter.
gonna cry,
You're gonna cry.
but you're gonna eat it again.
But you love it.
Yes.
Yeah, right. So I would say CCAs as a whole,
It brings joy.
right? Like if I were given the choice of having no CCAs or having CCAs,
I'll pick CCA.
I'll pick CCAs. Right. It just brings so much more to the table.
True.
Right.
And I believe like what you said, but before I come to uni, if I were to look at my year 2 self, I would think like are you crazy taking on 7 CCAs?
Right.
But if I were to talk to my younger self, I would say like it's possible.
Right.
Everything is possible.
Correct.
Impossible, break the I and M.
I'm possible. Right.
Yes. Always think like that.
Right. So that was a great conversation we had.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think the main takeaways the audience should have from this conversation?
I think we should all think on the positive side of CCA, even though we have downsides of it. And I think it's okay to take up higher position. I think.
Right.
Just know that you need to know where's your limit.
Yes.
How about you, Zhi?
I would say don't be afraid to discover things. Right. For example, the tops position. If you've never been in tops position before, you'll be like, oh my god, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to manage this, manage that, I need to keep track of this, keep track of that. It's not like I can't do it. But then don't doubt yourself. When you are placed in that position, by hook or by crook, you will still manage to do it.
That's very true.
Right. So don't be afraid to explore. And then so even if you are placed in the top position, so what if you fail? They can't fire you.
There's no firing in
There's no
CCA,
firing in
guys.
CCAs. They don't give you a salary. There's no
You have
records.
you have no pay. You have no salary,
Right,
no
right.
nothing. It's all just your commitment.
Right. So if you
Yeah.
if you fail,
What? So what?
just clean up the mess.
And
Right.
go again.
Right.
There's always a new start.
Yeah. Everything's a learning experience. I
Yes.
feel.
Because in uni, you're expected to learn, so they don't expect you to know everything in uni at first. So, but this is different from the working world, as I heard.
Right.
In working world, they expect you to know everything.
Yes. Yes.
So try everything in uni, and you have less stress when you're in working world.
Yes.
That's what I would think of.
Yes, I also say that in uni it's the best time to discover a working style.
Yes.
So are you a person that's more of the commandeering personality, like you tell your people what to do, or are you a person that's more on the ground, you do together with a man?
For me
Yeah.
personally, I think I am more to the type of like a strategy person. So I think of what other people can do, and I try to fine tune in that.
Right.
So I think I'm more on like a commanding people type of person.
Right.
But sometimes I also hear like what people's suggestion is and try to fine tune what I can do. I'm that kind of person.
So this discovery wouldn't have been possible without your CCAs. Right?
Yes, that
Right.
actually helps me. That actually helped me to discover this during my main com.
Yes.
FOC.
So for myself, I got a feeling that it was me, like I'm more on the ground person. I like to do things together with my guys. But then up until now, it wasn't confirmed. Until I managed to take the POTS position, and then I realized, yes, that is my style. I have to do this. This is the style I'm most comfortable with. And then I wouldn't have known this if I didn't take this position.
Yeah.
Right. So if I didn't take this position when I work in the future, I will be left discovering myself. And then when you're trying to discover yourself in the working world, it's more risky.
One is risky.
Yeah.
One you might waste a lot of time.
Yes, correct. So it's best to discover yourself
Now.
in uni. Yes.
Now, if you're watching this, now.
Now is the time.
Yes.
The best time was yesterday. The second best time is
Now.
all right. Sorry. So thank you so much. That was a very pleasant conversation we had.
Thank you so much for having this conversation. So this is Xin Hui,
This is Zhi Yu.
and thank you for tuning in to EE
Insight.